Good afternoon. My name is Jackman, better known as Nesquick and Chill, and today I have with me top laner Villain Glasses. How are you doing today?
I'm doing all right.
And I also have joining me mid laner Tommy Tutan. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
I'm going to be asking you all some questions about playoffs, going into playoffs. The first one's going to be, how do you as a team feel going forward regarding the playoffs?
You want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Okay. So at the end of the regular season, we were riding a pretty big high, being as though we beat Rift Dragons and we secured first place. Um, this past week or so, we've been feeling still confident. We're fairly confident in our first round against Aether. We haven't had a chance to see or play against Rift, so we're still a little unsure about that. But as for confidence and how we feel going in, I think we're feeling pretty comfortable. What about you?
Okay, Villain?
Yeah, I'd say pretty much the same. I mean, it's kind of getting back to form now with like a week and a half break. Figuring out what the game plan is for playoffs and kind of moving forward with that. But I mean, there's not too much to worry about, I think, in Dragon Division, so we should be fine.
Okay. How did the team eventually come together, and how do y'all fit in game?
How did it come together?
All
Tommy,
right.
you want to take that one because it's a bit
It's
of a
kind
story.
of a story, yeah. So, for those of you that don't know, I played in Season 5 of Duo. I was a top laner for a team called Pursuit Gaming. We were ranked second right below Pawn Sacrifice, and at the time, Sheer was playing top lane for their team. Sheer and I we were probably the only two top laners at the time that really, knew how to play top lane. Everyone else was sort of just, thrown on, sort of what Villain's doing right now, where he was just kind of thrown onto a team in the top lane. So because of that, we respected each other, we talked to each other, we brainstormed ideas, stuff like that. Eventually, I get banned from Duo, and Pursuit Gaming falls apart. And the whole time I'm telling Sheer, I'm like, I'm a Pawn Sacrifice fanboy now. Like, go Pawn Sacrifice, right? And then so then the season ends. I get invited back to Duo, and I don't have a team, so I get a random DM from Sheer one day, and he's like, "Hey, I'm looking to make a new team. Would you want to try and build it up?" So I was like, "Hell yeah!" Starting off the season with a team, I'm gonna be able to make the roster. Needless to say, that roster fell apart pretty damn quick. It was me in the top lane. It was me and Mikaze in the jungle. Vanish was mid lane. Aqua Domain was bot lane, and I think it was Daddy Zillion at the
I think
time.
it's Daddy's Dillion at the
Yeah.
time, yeah.
We played in Area League, which I think this was probably November, December area. We got absolutely clapped. Didn't make playoffs. Didn't do it. We were just like it was a disgrace to have Pawn Sacrifice in our title. So we decided to do some roster changes. Villain, I don't exactly remember how you got
I can
on
take over from here.
Yeah,
So-
I don't remember.
So I've been hopping around teams like every season of Duo. I started with Active Rush in the 16-2 year with the bot lane, which is actually my main role. Last season, I was playing with Resurrected Kings as the mid lane. I think that's what it was, and boosted them to playoffs. And then at the end of that season, I was kind of left without a team again. And so it was in the off season. I think Sheer approached me and asked if I wanted to fill in for Pawn Sacrifice as mid lane, actually, for Black, because I think Totomax was busy during that time with Aerial League and everything. So I played on Pawn Sacrifice Black for a split, which was Sheer top. I don't remember who we had Canadian champ jungle, I think.
Yeah,
I was playing mid, and then we had
Shrimp
can't
and
remember who we
Omari,
had
right?
bot lane. It might have been Shrimp and Omari, I think. I think that's right. It might not have actually been Shrimp at the time. It might have been just someone completely different. But or at least it wasn't like smurfing Shrimp that we got in Duo this season. And so then after that ended, we got bounced in playoffs, in which they played a different mid instead of me in the playoff series, and then lost the first two games, and then needed me to untilt them and fix that, and I couldn't do that. And so we got 0-3 in playoffs in Area League, and then they shuffled rosters because I think something about Kaze didn't want to play with me, but wanted to be back on Black with Sheer. So I ended up moving to White. Don't quote me on that because I'm not sure, but that's just some of the rumors I've heard. But I ended up going to White because they asked if I could play top lane for them. I was like, sure, whatever. What could go wrong? So I'd actually just finished playing top lane
What could go
on
wrong?
on a different team. I was playing top lane and filling for them. And so I was like, I played it a little bit. We'll see how it goes. And I feel like I've done a pretty okay job.
First
Alright,
place.
yeah, it's
would look
very
at.
interesting. This is my first season here, so it's interesting to see the whole backstory of this era come into play for
Yeah,
sure.
old farts like me.
So following up with that, who does a lot of shot calling, objective focus, and team decisions in the game?
That'd be me.
That'd be you.
Yeah. So I feel like I don't get enough credit for a lot of the intangibles here. Like I
He
might not be the
doesn't.
best top laner. I might not be solo killing people playing, Renekton and Fiora and that shit. I'm the guy who's like, okay, yeah, we'll first pick set for me, so I get dicked on in top lane. Meanwhile, we'll give the counter pick to Tommy, give a counter pick to Mel in the jungle. Oh, by the way, I have to shot call in mid and late game. Oh yeah, I do the drafting too, by the way.
Well, okay,
It's like,
you and
I do a lot of the work
Kiri,
in
okay,
drafting.
yeah.
Kiri does a lot of the scouting, but I do a lot of the All right, we're picking this. Let's do this.
Yeah. So
But,
I wanted to like add on top of that. I think Villain slept on like a lot in this league, and he may not be like top 5 or top 4 or whatever top laners, right?
Okay, I was
But,
top 5 don't. Or top 5 top.
okay, you were in the community power rankings. You were. That's fair. But I don't think when people think of Pawn Sacrifice White, I think they very rarely think of like the top lane, because like it's not like he's smashing lane and then just like hard carrying, like split pushing, whatever, but like he's providing information that allows everyone else to succeed, and he's playing the game in a way that allows others to succeed. Like in the Rift Dragons game, when he played Fiora versus Darius, the whole time in draft he was like, I don't want to play Fiora. I know he's gonna pick Darius. And I'm like, dude, just
I
take
wanted
it.
to ban Darius second
He
phase.
did,
but
okay.
You guys wanted to ban Kled, even though we had Tarek.
We had Tarek, but also like I feel like it. Regardless, okay, we picked him. we picked him weak side, but he was able to like scrap it out, play the split push, and then just his sheer like shot calling, his team fighting, stuff like that. We were able to stall the game out, and then I mean I just kind of smurfed, but it's fine. Like yeah, he doesn't get enough credit for what he does. Like if you look at his numbers, like CS, I thought I had pretty decent CS. I hit tab. This dude has like 40 CS on me at 20 minutes. I'm like, what, like, am I just like awful? I'm like, no, he's just at 230 CS at 20 minutes. I'm like, how? Like, I'm like, what jungle camps is Mel Scout just willingly giving you? It's like, I don't understand. But besides Villain, I think Kiri does a lot of. He's sort of the. He's not like shot calling. He's more of the I don't know the term for it. He's basically the one that's looking out for the plays. Like if he's playing a roaming support, he's like, hey, I think we can go here. Hey, I'm gonna try and go here. Hey, whatever, I need vision, whatever. And then we sort of follow up with that. But then there's a lot of times where he's like, hey, I'm gonna go here, and then from top lane, Villain's like, I swear to God, if you go in, I'm gonna run it down. And then we get we get triple killed, and he's like, I swear to God, no one's listening to me. It's crazy.
They're like, Kiri's just like, hey Mel, you want to look at this? And I'm looking at the champions, and it's like, our Thresh and Sejuani are going for a 2v2.
Yeah,
this isn't gonna end well.
No,
Let's not do that, guys, for the third time.
That's funny. So, following up with that question, on your team, who would you consider your MVP for your team?
Depends. Is Tommy getting to play Azir or not? Or
Overall season.
That's tough because like I feel like we all kind of pull our own weight, you know. Like if I'm shitting the bed, it's like top lane's 9-3 or something like that. Like we had a scrim the other night where I was like 2-6 playing Wukong mid, and like I was absolute dog mode. Like I would go in and just explode. They said like I'm not. They can look at that scrim. They're not gonna learn shit about us. Like that game was terrible. But the rest of the team like Villain was like 9-3, and I think Peanut was like even or something like that. And it was like I was just like, let me farm, like let me do something, right? Like I want to be useful. But if I'm not doing well, someone else on the team is picking up my slack. So as for MVP,
give it to the boomer.
I guess because like, am I allowed to?
It's so hard to pick one person.
Yeah,
it really is.
It really is.
Like, it's like a nice rotating like wheel of like who's gonna int this game, who's gonna carry this game.
Yeah, it really is.
And Azir's open. Tommy, first pick.
Yeah. But
Alrighty. It's interesting. What are some of your thoughts of how the season went for you guys? Did you perform better than expected or worse?
definitely
I'd say compared
better.
to everyone else's expectations, it's better. Like
Yeah.
everyone pegged us as like third, fourth place in this division. Everyone was like, "Oh yeah, PS White, they're not gonna be nearly as good as PS Black. It's a waste of the brand. They're terrible. Like Rift is so much better. TDS is so much better. EQ Storm is so much better." um, but like, sorry, I had something
Rest
to
in
throw.
peace.
But I mean, we started off like slow, but we had literally never played with each other before until the season started, essentially. And so we started off 2-2 and then finished 15-4. So I'd say 13-2 second half, or like after that, was pretty damn good, given that we only lost to Black and Solar Phoenix, who are obviously at the top of Baron, and we like to worry about one of them in playoffs anyway. So
Shut up, phone.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we definitely performed better than even what I expected. Going into the season, when they did I don't know if you were here at the time, but they did a intro stream where they introduced all the teams and people gave their opinions on them and such. A lot of people were saying like this team doesn't seem
look
good.
good, right?
Yeah, it doesn't look good. They're like, who are these? They're like, oh, we know Kiri. Like, Kiri's good, but they're like, who is? They're like villain on his third role in 3 seasons. Like, they're like, who's Peanut? Who is Mel Scout? And they're like, Tommy Two Time. Isn't he a top laner? What is he doing?
Okay, right?
Yeah. It's like when he's not banned. But I think we definitely performed a lot better. We finally cracked down. I think we lost to it either was Solar Phoenix or EQ Storm. It was right after one of our losses, and we finally sat down and we're like, do we want to take this seriously? Like, we sat down and we're like, we're basically jumping into these games, picking 5 champions that somewhat work together, and we're saying, see you in 20 minutes. We'll see whose Nexus explodes first, right? Like,
we're 10K gold up or 10K gold down.
Right. So the games we were winning, like, we were winning not even cleanly, not even like stomping, like we were just one team fight.
30 minutes.
Yeah. And then we just win. And then when we played against teams that actually know what they're doing, we would just get stomped. So we finally sat down and we were like, let's try, because we're all good players. We have the mechanics to compete. Why don't we just try to like formulate plans and stuff like that? So we finally established roles. We decided like team comps, what we want to play, what we're looking for, which I think really led to part of our success when we had like, I think it was a 7 or 8 game win streak at the end of the season. Be that as it may, we had 2 FFs, but I mean, hey, you take what you can get. But yeah, that's about it for me.
Good. That's interesting. Staying in first all season, even though it's a close division, what has been the motivation / drive to keep you on top?
I
Definitely
personally
beating Rift round 2. Like,
yeah,
getting back to first place was really big for us. It happened through them kind of inting away, both against us and then against what was it? Ether. So
Ether
I mean,
both times is kind
now
of
you look at it
crazy.
like, sure, they have this new rebuilt roster that hasn't played a single game in season. They've lost to the 3rd and 4th place teams in the division now, as well as the 2nd place team. So I don't get where a lot of these teams are getting this pseudo confidence from. For like, we're the best, we're number 2, but we're like, yeah, we're probably number 2 or 3. You know, like PS Black is probably 1, Soul's probably 2, and we're probably 3 right there, and then the Rift is close to us. But I think the power rankings are very fair. I think the standings are very fair and representative of how good teams are. And so, I mean, the biggest drive is just to try to win. I mean, it's a game, it's for fun, but doesn't mean we're not playing as competitively to try to win. That's the whole point.
Of course.
I think for me, it's more of a personal thing. For like, I've been playing competitively for about 3 or 4 seasons now, and I've like jumped around leagues. I've played like when I joined Duo in season 4. I played like 3 games on Pursuit Gaming, because I was a starter, but like the schedule didn't line up with like school and work or whatever. And then season 5, I had a really good team, but we were always behind Pawn Sacrifice Black, or just Pawn Sacrifice at the time. And so when we had this team and we started winning, I realized we're actually better than a majority of the teams in this division. And for me, I want to win a league, you know, like everyone here puts a stupid amount of hours into League of Legends, right? Like
Yeah.
a stupid amount. So for you to put all that work into it and finally like win something, I feel for me, I want that sort of gratification that my work isn't just being wasted, which I mean, it's still
I mean,
is.
yeah,
But
I feel like I join a team with the confidence that I'm joining this team expecting to at least make playoffs and possibly at least win a round in playoffs. So that's like I usually don't try to join teams that like would just be like, bottom feeding teams that I remember, like things like that. Like, don't get me wrong, like if Fight Club asked me to join their team this year, probably not. But after this year, maybe, right? Because they're not a bad team. They're like that borderline of like, if this Fight Club was playing at the start of the year, they might be in playoffs over EQE right now. It might be a completely different story.
I think they
that's
would.
fair.
But I mean, like I come in expecting to win, not necessarily hoping to win, in my opinion.
Right.
Which is weird because I'm always bouncing around to different roles just to scrape on a roster. But like that's a whole nother issue. Someone please sign me an Ariel. Daddy's Alien.
Right.
Get us on the team,
All
please.
Last couple questions are gonna be a little spicy. I do enjoy some spice, and they've gotten some pretty good answers to them. Were any teams way easier to beat than you initially thought?
Easier to beat than I thought, or I mean, again, the only teams I've ever expected us to lose to is the 3 of 4 that we lost to, like PS Black, Solar Phoenix, and Rift. Like, I wouldn't say anyone's easier to beat than I thought because I thought we could beat all of them.
Okay.
Just by watching their games.
I
So I guess like everyone's kind of where they were for me, but
I forget who it was. It might have been
Rift without Walkie was easier to beat than I thought, to be honest. Like, I mean we gave them 10k gold and they still couldn't win. So
I forget which game it was. I think it might have been EQE or it might have been. It wasn't GGD because GGD that was
the main top.
That was the main
was
top
greatest
game. Yeah,
tournament.
I think it was EQE when I played Diana versus Syndra, and I literally would just I killed mid lane, walked bot, double killed them, walked back mid, killed mid, walked bot, got another double kill. I was 10-0. I was fucking trolling and I built Wit's End on Diana, and I was like, dude, I'm either gonna kill you with my burst or I'm gonna auto you down or take your turrets and 4 auto attacks. Like I was like they had Malphite, Syndra, Morgana, and they had like an AP jungler too. So I was like, Banshee's Veil is like the right move, but I was like, I am 6,000 gold up on.
More fun.
I was like, I don't care. I'm 3 levels up on everyone in the game. Like I'm just gonna walk all over you. But I think whoever that was, I don't know who it was. I don't want to name names without fact checking. But whatever game that was like my most fun. Like I was laughing like the entire game. So.
Okay, interesting. For one of the last questions, who flames the most on your team and who gets flamed the most?
You're pointing up. I feel like you're pointing towards my webcam, just to guess.
Yeah.
I'm not toxic. I'm a nice guy.
Bro,
I flame
don't
myself
eat.
the most.
Bro, I shit you not. The first day we scrimmed together, we had a different jungler. We had Bradford. Bradford has never played competitive League of Legends before, right? He goes to dive top lane.
Oh no, this way. Oh no, this way.
Bro,
Can I go get the clip?
I don't know if it's streamed or if it was recorded.
It's somewhere. I clipped that somewhere.
He goes top on Jarvan. Or maybe Elise. It was Elise. It was Elise. He comes top to yeah. He goes to dive. I think he tanks tower aggro.
You want me to tell you what happened?
Just tell it because yeah, you know exactly what happened. I'll tell you what your reaction was.
It's top lane. I trade 1-for-1 with the top laner on a gank or whatever. And then he TPs back to the tower, and I'm still there. Like I TP back to the tower again because my wave's right there, and I have a big wave. So I'm like, you're full health. I'm full health. We can just dive him, right? It's like level 3 Renekton or something. It's like just kill him. And so this guy walks up with red buff, by the way. Autos once, autos twice, autos 3 times. Minion wave comes in, he forces a cocoon, misses, and dies to tower before he repels. And he
literally goes, bro, my jungler's actually griefing me. Give me the fuck out. This is our first day of scrimming. This is our first scrim. He was like, bro, I can't play with this jungler. He's like, I can't. but
Not true.
he's not. He's
You were
not.
playing me for the Aurelia game. That's why I was tilted.
Okay, he's not toxic. Villain isn't toxic. He's very passive aggressive to the point where
That's
he's like,
fair.
he's like,
That's
he's like,
very fair.
There's a difference between like toxic and then just like flame. Flame and banter are like two of the
I'm
better.
the kind of toxic where like he's saying, like Kiri and Mel will go for a play. I'll be like, you guys shouldn't do that. Enemy double kill.
he's like,
Okay.
exhale.
And I gotta figure out. Okay, now we're
Okay.
3K goal behind. How do we get out of this?
But for flame, who flames the most? I feel like Kiri when he's like super
When
hyped.
he's popping off.
When he's
holy
like
shit.
super. Okay, so.
He
Oh,
goes
no,
in on
I forgot. Rainbows did the other interview. He was saying like I saw the PSV interview and he was saying like Ali or Amazing Time whenever he gets like a solo kill he's like get the fuck out of my game like you're garbage bro sit the fuck down. Kiri does the same thing except he sounds like a 15-year-old kid. He's like
He
sit the
doesn't look like
fuck
it's a
down. and then like he'll come back mid or he'll come back bot lane and he's like bro fight me
Dude,
like,
fucking smurfing.
I'm smurfing, bro, and then like it's so funny. I'm sitting here like mid lane just trying to CS, like tears coming down my eyes because he's just
That's hilarious.
he's literally playing Alistar, not doing anything. He's just walking up and he's like,
Yeah,
fight
I
me,
pressed
fight
WQ,
me.
let's go.
He's like, fight me, bro, fucking fight me. And I'm like, bro, what is
That's
happening?
hilarious. That's hilarious.
No, but I probably also pop off. Pretty similarly hard on solo kills sometimes, depending on who I'm playing against.
Oh,
But
if it's
especially
like a
when I get
hypey
counter
moment,
picked and someone's like Darius into Ornn and I solo kill them with Ornn, it's like,
Mhm.
dude, I'm an 80 carry player. Get the fuck out of here. Like
nice,
mechanically outplayed on a tank, dude.
nice. Lastly, is there anything y'all want to say before ending to any team or anything?
I got some beef. So, being
have fun, guys. I'm so excited. For
no,
playoffs.
no,
Yay.
fuck that shit. We're not being
man,
nice.
50-50
Fuck
budget.
that. Shut up. We're not being nice, bro. I got to see the EQ Storm interview. Let me say they're being a bit too cocky for a team that's gonna get first rounded. That's all I'm saying.
First
all
round,
right.
they're gonna get 0-3, dude.
Yeah, it's still first round, bro. They basically came at us. They said PSY is a little bit overrated, bro. You've lost 3 scrims to us, 0-2 each time. We beat you easily in the cross platform or cross division, and like because you made some roster changes, now you guys are amazing. You guys scraped into playoffs with a negative win to loss ratio. Like you can come at us and talk shit about us, but like at least back it up. Hey, and you know what? If you happen to beat PSB, then you lose to Solar Phoenix. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, any team that has Fight Club nipping on their heels has other issues to worry about than us. So
That's all I'm saying. As for the teams in our division, Aether, we'll see you guys on Friday. That's all I gotta say.
I don't know. Probably see Rift the week after, but I mean, they might choke.
I don't know, man. TDS, they're something.
They couldn't lose every game when they get up by 10k gold, right?
I don't know.
Alrighty, thank y'all. I appreciate y'all for making this interview process a whole lot easier for me and for me randomly getting this job and position. I appreciate y'all.
Sounds like duo.
And I'm glad
Tell me
that
about it.
we'll see each other. Hopefully, maybe it's a Soul White type of final. Who knows? Who knows? Indeed.
Well, we'll see.
But yeah, hope you all do best in scrims, and we'll see you out there.
Later.
Peace out.